In the end, everything will be all right. If it isn't all right, it simply is not the end. It is rude to try and change someone else, so do not try. The response is perpetually negative until an inquiry is made. Things can be done in two manners, the correct way and the repeat way. Do not anticipate people to respect you more than you respect yourself. I don't have the secret to success, but the secret to failure is seeking everyone's pleasure. A strategy is never as useful as hope. Avoid placing your faith on people. Trust must be established, not handed on a silver plate in the beginning. There is no such thing as old. You can always remove people from your life. It takes a relatively long time to come to the horrible truth that you're deeply unhappy, and even more time to understand it needn't be this way. More than a fool, a wise man learns much from his enemies through the friends. There are so many ways life can go wrong, but those equally grants us a chance to get things done right. When people do not treat you well, it isn't a reflection of who you are, but rather a reflection of their character. Those that tell you you can't and you won't are simply scared and afraid, enclosing you from trying your best. Don't mold yourself too much into anybody's ideals. You will become unwanted. The fact that the boat is rocked does not determine whether or not it is time to jump ship. Yes, there will be bad times, but it is the kind of stuff that makes you realize the greatness you were ignoring. The more you are aware of what you want and who you are, the less things agitate you. You are not alone in trying to make everyone happy and succeeding in making no one happy instead. Everything is possible as long as your mind is determined. Stop wishing to be joyous all the time. You know that is not feasible, and that is perfectly fine. When a problem is solved, there is such beauty in its simplicity. While attempting to break a habit, don't tell yourself, "This is the last time I will do this." Instead, tell yourself, "This is the first time I am not going to do this." Don't be concerned about everyone disliking you, since you don't like everyone as well. Your former life is not synonymous with your latter life. You may make all good decisions, but afterward, sit down and watch everything you built reduce to ash. You will just have to take the pieces and continue moving on. If ever you become so kind that you forget to be clever, remember that you also have some wit of your own. A life without worries is something we all strive for, and trust me, nothing in this world is worth worrying about. This world is filled with different sorts of people, and at times you will find that some will not understand you. In psychology, it is often made clear that most people have a set stereotypical way of perceiving things which make it difficult to ever see outside of their box. People have mixed feelings about certain days in the week. For instance, some people do not work on weekends, so some day is some kind of a holiday for them. Just remember that the world is made as such that people always continue forward, and it isn't worth holding on to your past shames and mistakes. Lastly, even the death of a beloved one is a possibility, meaning nothing is permanent. There's a good chance you may cease to exist tomorrow, as harsh a reality as it is. Before making too many assumptions, ask yourself if you would be doing the same things that do not make you as happy, simply because they are far kinder than the first actions. If your actions are constantly geared towards doing good things, then surely the good karma comes back to you. And if your motive was kind-hearted to begin with, then you won't be let down. However, a world built on fairness is nothing but a fantasy that will never come to life. Expecting the lion, who has the ability to eat you, to not eat you just because you decided against consuming him is quite foolish. You're not in control of anything, and there exists no perfect ideal to work towards. So, instead of getting stressed out, Try embracing the reality in its true form. Always try to improve yourself. To survive on this planet, you require antagonists. It is these hostile folks that become a source of motivation in life. And let's be honest, if you get everything you want right when you want it, there is no value in existence. Don't let a person's opinions trouble you if you wouldn't hire them for giving you advice. If you fail to acquire knowledge, or worse, activism, you are devoid of power. One day you are going to identify the fact that, without your permission, nobody holds influence over you. The treasure you seek lies behind the cave you are afraid to enter. Do less than what you wish you had done. Speak no more than you wish you had said. Your character is not defined by the mistakes you make, but rather by how you react to those mistakes. Train your mind to be positive in every situation and look for the silver lining in events. Disagreements are natural, so stop expecting everyone to always agree with your stance. Strength of character is what allows you to stay at the top after achieving success. A man can be stripped of all he has, but 5 aspects remain, the very last of human freedoms: to choose one's attitude in any situation, to have the autonomy to chart one's path. Prepare to reshape your ideas on who you want to be, because that is a tremendous feedback loop to have as you age. Having value never comes from chasing a person. You earn it through the pursuit of dignity and morality. Do not partake in an action if you feel the need to lie to cover it up at a later time. If you feel motivated by fear, anger, pride, or any combination of those, nature will compel you to compete. Nature will work for you if you are motivated by courage, awareness, peace, and tranquility. Rightfully so. Many people will be aggrieved with whatever actions you undertake for your benefit. You are delusional with every single thought you have about the future. Whatever is a cause for worry or pain today is not going to be a persistent concern. With time, things change, and it will go away. You are not a good best friend if it takes you more than one hand to count your best friends. The most powerful aspect of being young is you do not have the life experiences to understand what you cannot do. At a certain point, you need to set your past straight. This is vital for your happiness. There are many things worth caring about. It's important to bear in mind that the past simply serves as a frame of reference and not a residence. The past serves as a source from which we learn, not a dwelling place. Every single person starts life with these 2 things: time, which is idle in nature and comes in limited amounts, and this amazing thing called choice. If your wish is to know how you are spending yours, study others as they waste theirs on making poor choices, and just don't do it. If you could easily ignore it instead, why bother correcting people? One can choose to be a pessimistic or optimistic person. There's a catch to that, though. Only one will get you ahead in life. Life is not concerned with your aspirations. You're simply going to have to accept the situation. No one ever comes across something they are naturally unqualified to cope with. You will not remember all the days and nights you spend doing nothing at home. Remember, it's never too late to steer yourself in a complete different direction in life, and there lies enormous importance in just a day and night. Life's blessings will repeat themselves until they are fully comprehended. One can never become who they want to be unless they are comfortable within their own skin. Shifting perspectives, it helps us change our viewpoint. It gives us the chance to notice things we might have overlooked long ago. If you are correct, but you are annoying about it, people will not regard you as the good guy. So, courage is not just about roaring. Sometimes it is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, "I will try again in the morning." Why should you let go of yesterday? Because yesterday has already let go of you. Don't waste your life wishing for what may have been in another place or in different circumstances. Rather, use your energy on what lies before you. People are often misguided and mistake stress for responsibility. In this life, you do not need to prove anything to anyone but yourself. Accept things as they are. Life is not about living in the past or living for the future, but living in the now. It is not a shortage of time. It is a lack of priority. Compassion will never tire out, so enjoy every bit of your life to the fullest. Your compromises and sacrifices will be rewarded. They get fed up with waiting and guessing, listening to fabrications, offering apologies and getting hurt. Never keep people around if they do not value you as much as you value them. The reason you seek to outdo others is exactly why you have not done so. The question is not whether you are going to be put down. The issue is what happens afterwards. Any man is weak who cannot acknowledge his blunders, who cannot learn from them, and who cannot rectify them. Become the person you missed in your childhood. Aim to incorporate little adjustments and broaden your perspective each day, since these are the experiences you will always need to draw from. A negative opinion given to you does not need to become an accepted perception. Not everyone who speaks nicely to you is indeed a friend. People are neither good nor bad. People just are. Live the life free of expectations of how you think it should be. Desire is insufficient. You need to have deep desire to accomplish this goal. It absolutely needs to be motivational enough to sustain you through the struggles that are usually in a person's path. People's lives are constructed on opportunities, even the ones that are not taken. All of us come across a point in life where we have to embrace change and move on. What's sad, though, is wishing for the past that cannot be changed. It is said, when you change the perception towards something, the very same thing gets altered. If your mental energy is geared towards optimism, it will help you survive anything. One can never know a person until they have occupied their brain, in which case they will never get to know who that individual really is. What we truly are is not reflected in our skills, but is echoed through the choices we make. You teach people how to treat you, whether it's from the conscious or the subconscious. You are either part of the problem or part of the solution. Do not ascribe to evil actions what can be easily explained as ignorance. It's essential to recognize when you need to move on. You shouldn't seek to justify the harm done to you by another. It is rather you who needs to heal. If someone is trying to tear you down, just know they've already lost. One has to start somewhere. It's like any other skill. It requires practice. Life does have a way of breaking us, but the particular instances when it does, you must summon the courage to face it. Pain is a part of life. Do not let any experience which may seem uncomfortable hold you back. Rather, endure it. It may be the most impactful and positive thing you experience. The past is a place for us to learn from, not to seek joy, pride, or make any excuses. It is important to understand the veracity of the world and accept yourself for who you are. Accepting the fact the right choices aren't always the easiest paths to take is when the strongest form of oneself can be seen. Don't place your problems on someone and expect changes. Simply blaming others will never improve your quality of life. Life is an experiment, and a risky one at that. Aim high, hope lower. Nothing is true and real until one believes it is. People carry memories, but everyone remembers. There is no such thing as forgiveness, only learning to forget. Each heartbreak, loss and defeat holds a story. Each defeat, each heartbreak, each loss contains its own seed. While they discuss that topic in further detail, enable me to make the broader point that public policies focus on allocating resources in a manner that will help us improve ourselves in the future. Try not to avert the road if your children will explore it. Rest easy, because even if you don't have all the answers, you are going to find something worthwhile. No matter how much you have managed to pull off, decisions made in ignorance should be refrained from in the future. Make sure to think before you speak. Though someone may let go of the careless, unforgiving words, the weight of pain from them may be unbearable to ever overlook. Refrain from creating a never-ending story filled with loss and unaddressed words left behind. We all want to blame someone for the status quo, so make sure to not bear the burden alone, because it should not be your cross to carry. What you can do is empower yourself and be willing to change the surroundings of uncertainty. The first step is adopting the self-assurance that having everything to start is not a prerequisite. In short, step forward regardless of fear. You alone have the power to transform everything, so make sure to take action and not hide behind postponements. Focus on where you put effort into, not on where you receive none. Certain floors can turn into ceilings, while certain ceilings can become floors. Their interpretation makes the distinction. First, it's not but, it is how you mean it or not. There are more likely things that would terrify us other than break us. In imagination, we suffer more than in real life. The only thing we have to figure out is what is to be done with the aspects given to us in life. From my perspective, life proceeds in such a dynamic manner that if one doesn't take the opportunity to stop and appreciate what is around oneself from time to time, there is a high possibility of missing out. Anger is a poison that may destroy more to the container in which it is kept than when spilled. When real love is difficult to find, we show extraordinary levels of dexterity in faking love. What we wish to hold on to is what we can afford to lose. Go find gratitude if you are willing to find happiness. It doesn't matter whether you can control a situation, because the truth is that things occur, and above all, accepting the situation is the effective way of getting through it. Pleasing everyone may not always happen, so don't try to fixate your life and its activities around the people who accept you and your situation. Others should not dictate on how you should carry on with your life or what are the things that define a happy life. It is your prerogative to create happiness by following what your heart desires. It doesn't really matter what course of action you take, but it is important that you take action and see things through. A stated expectation that has not materialized causes more pain than one anticipates, yet an expectation that is optimistically assigned brings more joy than an anticipated disappointment. Forget trying to rein in your emotions. Instead, focus on controlling your behaviors. Instead of passively waiting for something good to present itself, understand that unlike sports, there are no supplements awards given out. Go put in work for yourself. Action is the predecessor of achievement. I don't know is a phrase one should feel free to articulate. No one holds all the knowledge. It's okay to be imperfect. In fact, it is only human. There is virtue in self-determination. Always choose the honest decision, no matter the price. Self-esteem is invaluable. A loser is someone who does not put up a fight. A winner is someone who has the courage to do so. We tend to prolong our lives more when we are busy living them.